All of us want to be golden, like Alaba Awolaja, Abibat Oladunjoye, and others. The most important thing for us to be a golden internal auditor is to get certified. And this exam is not all about passing. There is no way, I'm not sure there will be anyone that will pass through the CIA certification journey without actually learning the proper internal auditing. There is nothing like, I just want to get this exam out of my way. If you are trying to do that, the exam will be taking you back to the same thing all over again. I have seen someone failing the CIA part 1 4 times. I've seen someone failing it 3 times. I've seen people failing it twice and they never start again. So normally, when we start our CIA classes like this, we will go into the details. We do not pay attention to the orientation aspect, how people should approach, what people need to know about this exam. So what we are going to do today is more about this orientation, like changing your mindset about this exam. Your mindset must change about this exam. It is very important that everybody have a mindset of, oh, this is not our usual exam. And you will see it in the exam pass rate. So this is where we are going to start. I'm not the only one here. I have Abibat Oladunjoye in this call. And I can't really say how long I've been relating with Abibat Oladunjoye, but I can remember that we started relating before she became a CIA. And she's going to be supporting me in this call. And she's also going to be adding value to our discussion because we want to give you a general idea and orientation about this discussion. So Abibat is one of the emerging leader as published by the Institute of Internal Auditors. So we are having one of, how many are you, Abiba? How many are you, Abiba? How many emerging leaders? Is it 15?
Yeah, 15.
So out of the all 15 globally, we have one from Africa, and that one is in Nigeria. We have Abibat, who is a young Nigerian. She has strong desire to make a positive impact on our community, including internal auditing, governance, risk management, and control community. So she likes to solve problems. I've been solving a lot of problems with her, and she's been facing a lot of challenges, and I know her to be the person that solves a lot of problems. And one thing I will tell you about Abiba is that we call her scholar. I think, did we give you scholar from this class, or you got scholar from another class? Abiba,
yeah,
did you get
from your CIA class? That was around 20. Was it 2022?
Yeah. Yes, so people call her scholar in this class. So it is very important to respect Abiba because she's a scholar in CIA. And she actually passed the CIA exam earlier than expected. I always tell her, because there was a time she felt the exam was simple. I'm going to tell her again. But I always tell her that she had a lot of advantages on her side, and she used her own strength very, very well. And I hope everyone will use their strengths. I also use my own strength as a CIA candidate. I used my own strength a lot. And the way I passed the exam, it was like, she passed each of the CIA exam at each sitting, and I also passed the exam at each. So we do not have any record of failing. She currently works with her PwC, and she's here because of our commitment to helping people to imbibe the global internal audit practice in their local practice. And that is the difference between a CIA and a local internal auditor. So there are a lot of differences, and let me just talk about myself too. My name is Progressive Alaba Awolaja. Don't ask me reason why I call myself progressive. You can just Google what progressive means, and I'm also a thought leader in the internal audit field. I've been on this journey since 2010. I didn't start my own CIA journey early. I started the training around 2010, 2011, but I didn't take a CIA exam until 2016. And one of the reasons why we say when you come for one class, you can always come for another class is because I had a not too good experience in my own time, because I paid for the training in 2010, 2011, but financially I wasn't okay. So I couldn't buy resources, pay for exams. And that time the exam was 4 parts. So I went for CIA Part 1 training. I went for CIA Part 2 training, but I didn't take any CIA exam until 2016. That was when I took my first CIA exam. So you can see the gap between 2010, 2011, and 2016 when I actually took the CIA exam. However, in 2016, I went for the class again. That was where I met one of us that is in this call. I met one of us that is also in this call today. So I've paid in 2010, 2011, I also paid again in 2016. For our own CIA program, once you pay for a CIA Part 1, even if you come back 20 years, so long you have not passed the exam, so long you have not taken the exam or passed the exam, you can always join our classes until you pass. That is the reason why we have a lot of people in this class. We have a lot of people who came for our classes before maybe a year ago or 2 years, but they have not taken the exam. Maybe they are not ready, or there was no time to take the exam. So they have to return again to join the class. So this is who I am. I give my best to CIA candidates globally. I receive calls. I attend to CIA, and that is what I do for a living. Apart from being a consultant, CIA is my own area that I'm using to give back to the internal audit and GRC community. So you are welcome back to our, if you are coming for the first time, you are welcome. And if you are joining again, I'm asking you to be patient this time around, because we want to give you the opportunity to take the exam within 3 to, let's say, because normally you can take the exam between 3 and 6 months, but it depends on your circumstances. Please do not judge when you want to take the exam based on what I said. You will have to judge your own circumstances by yourself to determine if you can take this exam. And you will notice as we proceed. One of the problems that we have with CIA candidates is that they do not care about the profession. They just want to have that CIA behind their name. But as a professional, we need to have an appreciation of what the CIA means. Who provides the CIA certification? That body that provides that CIA certification, what they do, how they help the CIA internal auditors globally. So when you talk about the CIA exam, the first thing you need to understand that is this exam is provided by the Institute of Internal Auditors. The Institute of Internal Auditors is the global body for all internal auditors. I understand that we have chartered accountant or certified public accountant in our midst, ACCA, CPA, ACAs in our midst. But wait, this is not about your accounting body. We are talking about the internal audit professional body now. So when it is about the standards, practices, training, education, certifications, and research on the professional practice of internal auditing as it relates to governance, risk management, and control, that is for CIA, the IIA. So that is the reason why when you take accounting certifications, the body of knowledge will be based on accounting body of knowledge. So the IIA provides the body of knowledge, BOK, for internal auditors globally. So we have over 260 members of IIA globally in more than 170 countries. So anywhere you go, you will see a place for a CIA because this IIA is globally present. Now, where are members of IIA? We have them working in internal auditing, risk management. As for example, I was a former enterprise risk manager of a global company before. So you see people working in governance, internal control, information technology, in education, security, even compliance. So within all of this domain, you will find a CIA working in this area. So don't say because you are a CIA, you cannot work in risk management domain or in internal controls domain or compliance domain. Once you are a CIA, your career will be traversing, or you are moving from one of this area: governance, internal audit, risk management, and internal control. And the reason why we do not actually mention compliance is because we know compliance is an aspect of internal control as a CIA. Please note that. So you will not, when you are taking a CIA exam, you will hardly hear compliance as a domain, as a distinct domain. But as a CIA, we understand that compliance is one of the objectives of internal control. One of the 3 objectives of internal control. So the IIA is everywhere. So I appreciate that. Wherever you find yourself globally, you will see the IIA. Now, the IIA also partners with a lot of other global bodies, like the ISACA for the, if you are a CISA in our midst, you will know ISACA, ACFE. If you are a CFE in our midst, you know CFE. Then we have Intosai, which is the body for the external auditors in the public sector. So then other regulatory bodies. So the core functions of the IIA is to provide the standards for internal auditing and guidance. So you talk about anything, even before you become a CIA, the resources for you to become a CIA is already, the majority of those resources are on the IIA's website. So even if you are not taking a CIA exam now, the things that you need to practice your internal auditing, to get yourself adjusted to the IIA's global internal audit practices is already there for you as a member of IIA. And that is one thing that CIA candidates don't know. Even before becoming a CIA or ready to become a CIA, they should have been using the standards and guidance provided by the IIA in their practice. However, we do not work like that. Most especially, I know of my own country, Nigeria. There is a way we practice internal auditing. The internal auditing is handed over to us by external auditors and chartered accountants. So we practice it that way. However, if you want to become a CIA, my advice for you is this is the reason why we are having this orientation. My advice for you is to be practicing your internal auditing according to IIA's guidance and standards. That is the best way to go. Because if you are practicing your internal auditing according to IIA standards and guidance, you don't have to read too much before you become a CIA, because these practices will have been part of you on a daily basis in your own local practice. So, but the challenge we have in this exam is that people will wait until they need the CIA certification before reading a lot of content. And they will want to be a CIA within 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. However, they have not been practicing with the IIA practice guide. And that is the reason why I teach patients. It could take you a long time to adjust to IIA standards and IIA guidance or IIA practices. And that's one of the reasons why people fail this exam. They are not adjusting. to the IIA global practices before taking the exam. They only want to read and pass the exam. And the exam is so technical to the extent that it will take more than reading to pass. The things that you should have known in the last 3 to 5 years are the things you'll be tested in the exam. And you want to read in 3 or 4 or 5 months to pass it. That is it. There is no two way to it. You have to be patient. So we have certifications by the IIA, CIA, CRMA, the Internal Audit Practitioner. For people who are not really ready to take CIA, they can take the Internal Audit Practitioner's exam. Yes, that is also available. And you have 3 years to use the practitioner, Internal Audit Practitioner certification before you to use it as a license to say that you have the fundamental knowledge or aptitude or basics of internal auditing. So for people who are so busy, who move into internal auditing or move out, maybe based on their role, maybe you are transferred to another department, another time maybe you went back to accounting, you can sit for the internal audit practitioner exam, have it, and later you can go and take your CIA part 2 and 3 and become a CIA. So that is another area that another method you can use. So once you you complete your exam on the internal audit practitioner exams, or you read and pass it, you'll be given that credential called IAP, Internal Audit Practitioner Designation or Certification, which means that you have the fundamental or basic knowledge of internal auditing according to the IIA's practice. You understand the standards, you understand the content, things like that. However, you have 3 years. And that's your license or that's your badge or certification credential cannot be extended beyond that 3 years. So if you don't have time, you can still go for your IAP and later move into CIA. That is an option for you. And you might even find the IAP syllabus easier for you because you have enough time to now enroll yourself into the CIA part, the CIA journey itself. So you can go for IA conferences, IA webinars, courses, things like that. Those are the things that IA also provide. Now, this doesn't really happen in Nigeria, but I know IA advocates for the profession globally because when new things are coming out, you will see IA providing their own position on the matter to regulators, to legislators. They advise them on areas that concerns the internal audit as a profession. For example, now, when IFR, what do we call it? ACCA, the body like ACCA, ISACA, ACFE, OECD, World Bank, United Nations, things like that. When they are discussing or creating or developing things that will affect internal auditors, that's where you find IIA. So, for example, in Nigeria too, and in other places in the whole world, if legislators or regulatory bodies are developing content or developing policies that will affect internal auditors or internal audit practice, so you expect the IIA to advocate for internal auditors. So people can, internal auditors can practice well, better, and whatever they create will not negatively affect the practice of internal auditing. For example, there was a time in Nigeria when our code of corporate governance before 2018, that was a time before 2018, when a lot of content in Nigeria's code of corporate governance majorly from the IIA's international standard, from the international standard for the professional practice of internal auditing. I mean the old standard. So a what are the impact of IA on the internal audit profession? The impact, positive impact, the quality of internal auditing, professionalism, credibility worldwide, and things like that. So you need to appreciate this body that provides lots for internal auditors. When you are talking about a certification for internal auditors, I'm not talking about certification for accountants. I'm talking about internal auditors. Please note, all accountants are not internal auditors, and all internal auditors are not all accountants. So the credential, the global credential for internal auditing is CIA. So why do you have the CIA? It is to test your understanding, your mastery, or validate your expertise, your experience, your knowledge about the body of knowledge for internal auditors, which has to do with internal audit practices, risk management, governance, internal control processes. So you want to show that you are a professional internal auditor, that you have learned, understood, and you have been confirmed to be somebody who possesses the body of knowledge relating to internal auditing anywhere in the whole world. So the CIA is globally recognized. It means that if you are a CIA in Nigeria and you travel abroad, you don't need to go for any other training or go for other courses to become or to work as an internal auditor anywhere you find yourself. And that is the reason why sometimes, I'm talking about Nigeria because I'm in Nigeria, sometimes when people travel abroad, when they left Nigeria and they get to US, Canada, UK, and other places, they discover that they need CIA to either show that they are credible internal auditors, or show that they are professional internal auditors, or to earn more money, or to be able to work in internal auditing domain. That's the reason why some people will now say, okay, they want to be a CIA. However, when many people in Nigeria, we don't actually care about CIA. Once you are ACA or ACCA, you are an internal auditor in our own culture here. And I think that is changing gradually in Nigeria too. Once you are a chartered accountant or you are a CCA, you are qualified to be an internal auditor. Although qualified to be an internal auditor without the essential body of knowledge for internal auditing, according to the global practice of internal auditing as established by the IRA. So, any the CIA credential demonstrates your knowledge, skills, and competencies. I mean, knowledge, skills, and abilities needed for an internal auditor globally. So if you want to be if you want to ensure that your own is good or golden, like Abibat and myself, you need your CIA, and you need to have a proper and broad perspective about how to earn this certification. Now, one thing you also don't know, maybe if you know, is that even the CIA is older than the CISA. CIA is older than CISA. IIA is also older than ISECA. So IIA is a board that has been there for a long time, and that is the reason why I always challenge people who want to create, let's say, small or mushroom local internal audit bodies. I always tell people, IIA has developed a lot of research, guidance, standards, practices for internal auditors. Why do we have to start from zero to create something new for ourselves? The body is over 70 years old. The CIA is over 50 years old now. We have over 200,000 CIAs, active CIAs globally. If you go to the certification registry on the IA website and search for Alaba Awolaja, you will see my name there. If you go to the certification registry, the same place, and search for Abibat Oladunjoye, you will see my name. So it means that we are among the over 200,000 CIAs. And one thing about this CIA is that in about 10 years now, the number have been increasing. That means people are now recognizing the CIA globally. So, but my challenge is this Africa. I know there are other people who are in this place, who are from other places outside Africa. But I have a challenge with this Africa, this 5,336 in Africa. I have been working since 2020 to ensure that we have more CIAs from Africa. Even on our platform now, we have more CIAs, and I'm happy to always work with these CIA. Please, we have CIAs all over the world. So let's move on. What is a certified internal auditor? This is where we miss it. This is where we miss it. If you don't agree with this pronouncement, according to the IIA, you will miss the reasons why you are trying to earn this certification. Because earning the CIA certification demonstrates your knowledge, skills, and abilities needed or required for internal auditing anywhere in the whole world. It tells people that you possess current knowledge of the IIA's Global Internal Audit Standards. If you are preparing based on the 2019 syllabus, according to 2017 IPPF, that means you have the current knowledge of the international standards for the professional practice of internal auditing. It is now called Global Internal Audit Standards. You know, we call it International Standards for the Professional Practice of Internal Auditing, according to the 2017 IPPF. But according to the 2024 IPPF, we call it Global Internal Audit Standards. Please get that clear. That is it. So, and you can demonstrate the appropriate use of the standards. So it means you can perform an audit engagement while conforming with the international standards for the professional practice of internal auditing, if you are still using the 2017 IPPF or Global Internal Audit Standards, if you are going to take your exam according to the 2024 IPPF. So it means you understand organizational governance and you can apply tools and techniques to assess risk and controls. See, CIAs are the best in governance, management, and control. CIA are the best because the area that is most challenging for CIA or most challenging in the CIA exam is governance, risk, and control. And that is our own areas of strength. So there's no way you will be a CIA without having that strength or developing strength in understanding organizational governance, enterprise risk management, and internal control, including frameworks that has to do with those areas of internal auditing domain. So you can apply business, IT, and management acumen needed for internal auditing. That is the reason why the CIA Part 3 is called Business Knowledge for Internal Auditing. That is where we learn a lot of things beyond essentials of internal auditing, which has to do with the standards and also the practice of internal auditing, the CIA Part 2, which we'll see very soon. Now, why are you pursuing the CIA exam? You want to validate your skill. You want to validate your knowledge, skills, and abilities, which we call competency. And that is the reason why people fail. The people that fail the exam after, even with their X numbers, X years of experience, is because, in my opinion, this is my opinion, and I can actually share this video publicly, is because they were unable to demonstrate their understanding and mastery of core internal audit competencies. That is the reason for failure. We were just unable to validate the things that you think you know, or the things that you say you know, or the capabilities that you say you have. You were unable to validate it using the CI certification program. That is it. So regardless of your years of experience in internal auditing, you will still have to validate what you think you know, or what you say you know, or what you feel you know. And that is the reason why I will tell you, when you are preparing for this exam, you must always reconfirm your knowledge. You must always reconfirm what you think you know. You must always reconfirm your understanding of concepts, principles, standards, and practices by practicing questions. That is the only way you can confirm, you can validate what you know. So it's a continuous exercise of validating knowledge, skills, and abilities regarding regarding internal auditing. So if you cannot continuously validate your knowledge, skills, and abilities according to IIS global practices, then the candidate may be unable to become a CIA. And that is the reason why I advise CIA candidates to take their time. Because imbibing those knowledge, skills, abilities, according to a practice that is not part of what you have been doing in the last 5, 10, 15, or 20 years of your internal audit experience, take you time. And that is it. So you are here because I'm teaching you to be patient, to understand that imbibing those things could take time. So you want to be globally recognized because you know, as a CIA, you can work anywhere in the world. You don't have to go to school again or go to classes or courses again, go for any other courses. So the CIA is respected worldwide across industries and countries, but we are just respecting it in Nigeria now. Yes, we have just started respecting it in Nigeria. So anywhere you find yourself, you know you can use your CI certification. So career advancement, you can move into different area: internal audit, risk management, governance, internal control, and the others. Once you go into internal auditing, you always want to move between governance, internal auditing, risk management, internal control, and things like that. That's what you'll be doing. Although you are a chartered accountant, but you'll be comfortable. You will even be more comfortable with fraud examination, fraud analysis, things like that. Those are the areas that internal auditors we want to move. They don't, because they understand accounting, and they maybe based on people's experience, they feel there is no new grounds to explore. Because they were formerly accountants, they have explored a lot of grounds in those areas, whether financial accounting or management accounting. They already explored those areas, so they want to explore other areas. That's why they can easily advance their careers in those domains. So then professional networking is also very important. I've mentioned IIA resources. They are there for you. They are there for you to practice. Don't say you are not doing CIA and not go to consult the IIS resources of age-long resources, age-long researches that you can use to practice your internal auditing. Many people who know me very well here, they know that if they have challenges at work, they can easily consult me. What do? I first go to my IIA resources, share my IIA resources with them to solve the problem, and also look at my books, my PDF books. That's what I have, a library of internal auditing and GRC books. Share, okay, read this book. This will help you. It will help you to do more. So we can network easily. Some people in these classes came to this class because somebody referred Go Risk and Oversight Professional Services that we can help you on CIA. Now, increase your earning potential. So when you have CIA, you can be optimistic that you will earn more money. So you will need to understand the entry and the exit requirements. They are different things entirely. One advantage of the CIA is that you don't have to have everything before you start. You don't have to have all of the requirement before you start your CIA certification journey. You just need to have meet the entry requirements to start the journey. And that is another reason why, based on my own experience, some people also fail, because the exam has a low entry barrier. People can start easily and they can meet all the requirements within 3 years. So people may not have adequate knowledge, or they might not have been advanced in experience, knowledge, skills that relate to internal auditing, governance, risk management, and control before starting the CIA. And that could, in my opinion, that also affects the pass rate. So when we look at the pass rate, you will understand what I mean. So you need to have bachelor's degree or higher to start, or you have an active internal audit practitioner designation. That is, if you take the IAP designation and you are ready to take the CIA, okay, you can enroll into CIA. And you are expected to have at least 5 years of internal audit experience. If you have 5 years of internal audit experience, you can start the CIA. And that experience is also another thing. That experience must be within internal audit, quality assurance and improvement program, or quality assurance, risk management, risk assessment, risk management disciplines, compliance areas, internal control, external auditing, and things like that. So if you have experience in those areas, you can still enter the CIA. Even if you're an external auditor, you can still enter the CIA program. Even if you are an active student in your final year, that is where you will see pricing for students. If you're in your final year, you can enter the CIA program. So you need a valid government-issued ID. They will ask for any credentials that you will want to present to become a CSA. So, but let's leave all of those things. I believe majority of us here will meet those criteria. Don't worry. Another area is the exit requirement. We have a 3-part exam to pass, and that is why people are here. All of the things I've been talking about, people don't care, but I want you to care now. It's not about this exam. There are a lot of things that you must know. You must pass all of the 3 parts within the program eligibility period. You have 3 years to take this 3-part exam. It means even if you decide to take one exam per year, go and look at my own credentials. I did my first CIA in 2016, no problem. I did my second CIA part 2 in 2017, no problem. I did my CIA part 3 in 2018. I don't care. I took my time and I didn't fail. That's the most important thing. Take your time. The blood that is rushing in you, please let it calm down now. But if you have been practicing with the IIA standards before, you don't have problem. But if you have not been practicing with the IIA practices and standards, you need to calm down. You have 3 years. Don't rush. The exit requirement now. So even if you don't meet the requirements, you must meet all of those requirements before your 3 years. You can read those things in the candidate handbook, but I just want to establish the fact that, please, you need to understand all of it. So if you have master's degree or equivalent, you only need 1 year experience in your exit. If you have bachelor's degree or equivalent, you only use 2 years of experience or equivalent to exit program. That is after passing the CI part 1, part 2, part 3. And if you're an active internal audit practitioner, you have that designation, you must have at least 5 years of internal audit experience or equivalent. So somebody will still sign your character reference that you are who you say you are, that you are eligible, that you are, okay, maybe you'll say your boss, your supervisor, or a professor in your school will sign your character reference and say, okay, you are eligible, that you are working in this area and that area, or working in internal auditing, risk management or control, or whatever it is, or as an external auditor. You don't have to be a member of IIA before you become a CIA. But one thing you need to understand here is that if you're a member, you will have a lot of discounts. So there will be a lot of savings. However, you don't need to start by becoming a member of IIA. Since you are in this class, if you are not a member of IIA, you don't need it now. Let us focus on these lectures. Let us focus on imbibing the IIA practices, on learning, and relearning the things that you need to understand before becoming a CIA. So when you want to take exams, you can decide to go and join IIA at your own time. Because once you pay for the IIA membership, it means that you are going to be paying annual membership subscription. And just like I did, I was paying membership subscription from maybe like that 2008 or 2009 without taking exams. And the reason why I joined IIA was because I wanted to take exam. So you can take your time to be practicing, to be learning, reading, practicing. And when you are ready, you can now, while you are preparing or practicing, you can be saving money. Okay, the first thing you want to do is to be a member of IIA. Good. For example, in Nigeria, you will pay 100,000 if you're a new member. Pay 100,000. After that, you need to pay your application fee. You will see that in the pricing. You pay it. Then you can now plan that. You can now plan your finances for paying for this exam. In Nigeria, the exam is so expensive for us. The exam is about 500,000 in Nigeria. That's a huge lot of money. So it's not something that you just want to go and take. After you have paid for IIA membership subscription, you have paid for application, which is $120. You are now paying the exam fee, CIA Part 1, I think it's $320. That's over 500. That's about 500,000 in Nigeria. So you can take your time to plan your finances. So if it's going to take you like 6, 7, 8 months or even 1 year to plan your finances, you will have started planning preparing for the exam before you even make those payments. Those are the orientation that I'm trying to make you understand. You can take your time to plan for those expenses you want to pay in the future while you have started preparing for this exam. Just give yourself a target and say you want to prepare for this exam in 6 months, and don't stop while you are planning for the financial requirements to take this exam. While you are planning. So by the time you pay for IIA membership, you are already ready to take exam. That is what I tell CI candidates. Because you bought enough time by coming for these classes, by preparing enough, by practicing enough. So that 3 years, we start counting by the time you pay for the application fee. And you're already taking, maybe by the time you pay for the application fee, you'll be taking the exam in maybe 2 or 3 months later. So by the time you pass the CI Part 1, you are ready for CI Part 2. So you won't spend that 3 years because you have maybe 6, 7, 8 months to prepare for each part. And at the end of the day, you are off the certification program. You will exit. So that is it. Let's look at the CIA exam structure. Please. This is the new syllabus. The 2024 syllabus. We have CI Part 1, we have CI Part 2, we have CI Part 3. The exam, the purpose or the exam only aim to identify people or internal auditors who possess the essential global knowledge, skills, abilities needed in modern internal audit practices. That is what makes the difference. And that is the reason why people are failing. The CIA exam aims to identify professionals who possess the fundamental global knowledge. This is very, very important. And that is what you have come to learn when we start taking this exam, all the syllabus, all the content of the exam. So we have a syllabus as per each of the parts. The CIA Part 1, we have the CIA Part 2, we have CIA Part 3, and we have the syllabus for each of those parts. So the 3 syllabus will help you to understand the content that will be tested, so you can prove your own knowledge, skills, and abilities to earn this designation. So many people thought it's just about what they have been doing in internal auditing, which may not be in line with IIS requirements. That is the challenge. So we want to assess your knowledge, skills, and abilities in current internal audit practices according to the IRA. So the exam has a balanced content surrounding the three parts, and all of the content aligns with either the 2017 version, if you are still taking this exam before May 28, either the 2017 version of the IPPF, which we will say International Standards for the Professional Practice of Internal Auditing, that is standard, or the 2024 version of the 2024 IPPF, which we now call Global Internal Audit Standards. So you are going to take multiple choice questions. Multiple choice questions. And one thing about this is that people don't know that sometimes multiple choice questions can be challenging. I think we have a video on some of the techniques on the questions of the exam. There's a video on the YouTube channel that you can watch about that. I don't want to add that to this orientation, but I will share that link. You can go and watch how this exam is. I think myself and Abiba and others did a YouTube a video about that earlier. So you see the same technique. Now, why are we talking about this new one? It's simple. The new syllabus. But because by the time you will see the Part 1 current syllabus, which is the 2017 syllabus, and 2024 syllabus, which is the one that will be tested from 28 May 2025, you will discover that, okay, I think this should be simple. One should be easier than the other. Why is IIA changing? One, this new syllabus is because the exam needs to be aligned with the new IPPF. You know, the new IPPF has the current GIAS. In the new IPPF, 2024 version of the IPPF, we have what we now call Global Internal Audit Standards. So the exam needs to be aligned with the new IPPF. And another reason is because things changes, and the practice of internal audit people must be tested according to the current global practice of internal auditing. That's the reason why this changed. Now, another reason is because people mistaking competencies for internal auditing for other professions. The reason why this syllabus has changed is because competencies must be clarified. Knowledge, skills, and abilities that makes a CIA must be clarified. And people and CIA candidates must possess those knowledge, skills, and abilities before they can earn the CIA certification. So that is the reason why everything has been simplified. If you look at it, if you have attended our previous classes on CI Part 1, you notice that this has changed. And for the CI Part 1, you have 125 questions, 150 minutes. CI Part 2, you have 100 questions, 120 minutes, and the same for CI Part 3. Now, what does the examiners expect from you as a CI candidate? This may be different from your practice. The examiners expect you. They want to be sure that you maintain current knowledge of the IIA's IPPF, either the 2017 version or 2024 version. And you are able to apply the standards, the principles, and the practices effectively in your audit practice. So this exam is about the IIA's content. It's not about, it might not be about your local practice. That is why people are making mistakes. And that is why they are failing the exam. They do not go through this kind of orientation before. So they have, many people are overconfident that is it not internal auditing that I've been practicing for X number of years? But the examiners are expecting something else from you. So now you have to adjust yourself back to meet this expectation. So you are expected to demonstrate the ability to conduct an audit engagement on your own by conforming with IIA's Global Internal Audit Standards or International Standards for the Professional Practice of Internal Auditing if you are still using, if you are taking this exam according to the 2017 IPPF. The examiner expects you to master and apply critical judgment to effectively leverage the various concepts outlined in the syllabus. So you'll be expected to make judgments, analyze things. So another area that people also miss is this cognitive expectation. There are cognitive level expected of CIA candidates for each of the topic. So when you are studying, you'll be seeing, or when you are looking at your syllabus, you will discover that some content are expected to be treated or to be learned at basic level or proficient level. For each topic area, the syllabus will tell you that you're expected to know this at a basic level. You're expected to know this at proficient level. So people don't know all of this. They read everything the same way, or they even focus on the basic one, leaving the one that are expected to be learned as proficient level. So basic level means that as a CI candidate, you are expected to retrieve relevant knowledge from your memory, or you are expected to show fundamental or basic understanding of topic, concept, or processes. That's all. But if you are expected to learn that content at the proficient level, it means that you are expected to be able to apply the topics, the concept, the processes, the procedures. You are expected to analyze, evaluate, make decisions based on the circumstances or criteria that they gave you, and make your own conclusion or recommendation on those areas. That is different. So you have to work with your syllabus too in this exam so that you will know which area is expected to be learned at this basic or proficient level. Are we following? So next, now look at what makes the difference. The current versus, so because some people have been asking me, and somebody even came and say he or she wanted to take the exam based on the old syllabus. I felt, and I said, why? I can't remember what that CI candidate used to answer that question. Because if the person had responded to that, my question, why? I would have advised that if you are just starting, if you even start your learning from the old, you can easily move to the new. It's not an issue. You understand the differences. And if you have not started before, you can just start your learning using the new, or what we call the updated CI Part 1 version. Look at the current one, 2019 syllabus. Domain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 6 domains. But Because the new GIS have been simplified, where, for example, this is no more what we call it objectivity. The code of ethics are not things that we are going to be treating separately. We are now going to be treating them as part of the foundations of internal auditing, which has been simplified in the new GIAS. When we begin to look at some of the contents of the GIAS, and if you have come from our classes using the 2019 version, you will discover that this is easier. If you are here and you study with the 2017, 2019 syllabus, you will notice that we have the IPPF as the mission of internal auditing, the code of ethics, the definition of internal auditing, the standards, about 7 things. We will see it later. That makes it difficult for some candidates to adjust. But in this new and updated version, it has been aligned with the new GIS, and the new GIS is easier than the old one. So if you have come for our classes before, you have to make, and you have not registered for the CIA exam, and you still have about 2 years, and you have applied for you have paid for the application, that's $120 US, and you still have about 2 years to finish your in your eligibility period. Your program period still has about 2 years. You can decide to take the exam based on the new syllabus. If you don't have enough time, no problem. You can take your CI Part 1 in the old syllabus, but don't forget, after May, you'll be taking other parts in the new syllabus. That is it. So ethics and professionalism, for example, is an aspect of the GIS. This is an aspect that you will study separately. Foundations has a lot of things, lot of details. But the way we will take it is we'll do the GIS aspect, then we'll do other content aspect, which is an aspect of these foundations of internal auditing. That is the way we'll take it. Now, let's move on. Another area is the scores. Because people will always ask me, what is the passing score or something like that? I have to tell you the truth. IIA say on a scale of 750, you have to earn 600. And if you put that 600 over 750, it tells you that you need to have 80% or more to pass this exam. I'm just using my own percentage scoring, but I think the statisticians and people that understand what they call rating scale or whatever they call it, they will understand that idea. But my own advice is for you to learn as much as possible to cross this 600. Because I will tell you that the passing score is determined through an established certification, industry process, a rating scale, those story, blah, 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 blah. But what you need to know is that a score below 600 means that as a candidate, you have not prepared fully for the exam. Just a minute. Do you understand me? I need you to do like this, or to speak, to use that to test your microphone. Do you understand? If you score below 600, it simply means that you are not prepared enough. That is what happened. So if you have come for our classes, I have tried my best to explain a lot of things, and you are still going to sit down on your own to reestablish the same thing that I've spoken about in classes, and also use questions to establish your knowledge on a daily basis, and you give yourself enough time, you should pass this exam. There's nothing to rush. Even if you are under pressure at work, if your next promotion is the criteria for earning a promotion is the CIA. It's better you don't tell them at the office that you are doing CIA, so that you won't be under pressure to take it. That's it. I'm just saying, you may take it or leave it. You don't have to be under pressure to pass this exam. Because as a Nigerian, I know how expensive this exam is. I don't know. It might not be expensive in your own economy, in your country. But it's so expensive here. So expensive. So if the criteria for promotion is your CIA, I would advise you not to tell them that you want to start your CIA class, you want to start your CIA certification journey. So you don't put yourself under unnecessary pressure, something that you can take 3 years to take out of your way, or 2 years. Why trying to take it out in 3 months or in 8 months? I've seen somebody that failed CIA Part 1 twice, still went ahead to take CIA Part 2, and later decided not to pursue the CIA certification again. Why? Patience. Patience. Take your time. And I've seen somebody that failed CIA Part 3 3 times until we met and I said, these are the things that you need to do. I need to do. These are the areas you need to focus. Just be patient. Don't go and pay for the exam yet. Go and correct this area. You pass this exam. It's not difficult. And it passed. So I am not afraid that if I'm going to take this exam again, I'm going to take it as if I never knew anything about internal auditing. That's the approach. Try to learn internal auditing from A to Z using the CIA exam. That means if you score higher than 600 over 70, it means that you are fully prepared for this exam. So if you fail, God forbid, you will see feedback, and we don't want to ask for feedback. We don't need their feedback. So candidates who fail the exam, we get detailed feedback on their performance in each of the domains. Let's say 2019 syllabus, the 16 domains, you will see how you have performed. But we don't want to see that. But if you pass, you only see passed. And that happened to me when I passed the CIA Part 1 in 2016. I saw pass. I had to call somebody. What's the meaning of pass? I was expecting, after I've worked a lot, then what I saw in a sheet of paper is just pass. I felt it should be more than this. So, and I called somebody, young man, go home. You have cleared your CIA Part 1. So know that. So you only want to see pass. You don't need the detailed feedback. So the feedback they will give the person when the person fail is to help them identify areas they need to study further. Why do you need areas you need to study further? If you have enough time to prepare for the exam, why? That means you have not done your own part before you took the exam. Why do you need those details? So that's why I said, don't pay IIA. Don't pay anybody. Just pay Go Risk and Oversight. Let's work together for at least from February, from today till next month, last Saturday, next month. Let's see where you find yourself about things that you have not been doing before. Now you will judge yourself how long it will take you to pay attention to the details, because you will see, for example, I always tell CI challenge candidates, I will say, you want to read over 1,400 pages of book in about 6 months. How do you pass such exam? Unless you have been practicing your internal auditing according to IIA before and you have that knowledge, still the pass rate for CI challenge is 44%. The pass rate, people who have CISA, people who have ACCA, who have CISA, who have ACCA, their pass rate is still 44%. So if you want to even do the CI challenge, you need to take your time too. You have to reduce the number of details you will read in a few months. So the score tells you how ready you are at that point in time. So if the score changes, maybe somebody failed now and later the person passed, that it doesn't mean the exam is that difficult. It tells you about your own preparation, how prepared you are. I know some people will now understand this one. So how prepared you are is what the score will tell you. And you can check the IIA website for the current pass rates, which we will also see. Let's see the pass rate. See, CIA Part 1, 41%. CIA Part 1 is 41% globally. This is what everyone that takes this exam, this is their scores globally. And this is the annual score. All the exams are on CBT exam, computer-based tests, and in different languages. And after it has passed through CIA, IIA's rigorous standard, this is what internal auditors and others scored on essentials of internal auditing. Why is the essentials of internal auditing score so low? It's because people are not prepared. You are not ready. People are not prepared. Look at even the CI Part 2. And let me tell you about this CI Part 2. This Part 1. For over 10 years, it was below 40. There's slight improvement in this 41 for people who are practicing, because I always tell people who are taking this exam, are they not internal auditors? Majority of the people that are taking this exam, you won't be taking CIA if you don't have interest in internal auditing, or if you are not in internal auditing, governance, risk management, and control. And look at the CI Part 3. And this is the reason why I am the one begging, I'm always the one begging CI candidates to be patient. Take your time. The scores will tell you if you have prepared well or you didn't prepare. If you passed, it's not that the exam is difficult or easy. It tells you are prepared. It's about preparation. If you prepare well, you will pass this exam. That is what this pass rate means too. And if you want to take the internal audit practitioner option, good for you. That has a higher passing rate. If you are not really in internal auditing, or you think you don't have the time to prepare for the say Part 1 now, you can take the internal audit practitioner option, and you can still audit as a certification for at least 3 years, and you can use it to move into the CIA without having to take say Part 1 again. So that is an option. You can read about the internal audit practitioner later. That one has its own policy, so you have to read that one. This is the money I don't want people to fail. People will come back and ask me, what about the student option? Are you in final year? Are you a final year student, in undergraduate student in final year or something like that? If you have people in their final year, they can look for this option. However, this is the difference. Non-member and member, how much you will pay. This is the reason why you need to be a member. But the first thing I said is to go and prepare. Focus on the preparation. When you have your membership fees, go and pay. That is when you are closer to taking the exam. Go and pay. You can see the gap. Double. This guy, I think this one is double. The application fee is double. Look at this one also. Look at this. It's a whole lot. So this is the discount that members will benefit. Although don't forget that you'll be paying your annual membership subscription as a member of the IAF. I hope you understand that. So this is the money I don't want you to go and waste. That's why I'm talking too much now. And I'm going to talk too much when we even go into the details, because this is where people miss a lot of the CIA exam. Now, people will still come back to me to ask questions about this area. There is nothing difficult in how to. If you're a member of IIA, if you're a member or non-member, you can create your profile on the IIA members, IIA platform, which we call CCMS. When you go to the IIA website, go to certification, you see Access CCMS. When you get to the Access CCMS, you will see there's a page for the Access CCMS. You click on Access CCMS again. You see a login. You can either create a profile for yourself as a member. If you're a member, you log in. If you're not a member, you have to create a membership. You have to create a profile for yourself. So it is better you become a member so that you don't pay that money. So after you create yourself, they will ask for your credentials, your BSc or your master's credentials, your identification, your government issued ID card. Meet those things. They are nothing. They are easy you see it in books. You see the candidate handbook where you can easily do that on your own. So after that, you'll be looking forward to make payment and take exam. That's all. So after that, you verify your experience. So these are basic things that you need to know before you start this CIA thing entirely. The other one is on YouTube, where we discuss techniques for the CIA questions. you also need to look at that video too before you begin to take questions on CIA. Most times, CIA candidates will miss that one too, because we have already recorded a video that we uploaded on YouTube. Please add this orientation to that one on the YouTube. Go to the Internal Audit Internal Audit Fundamentalist YouTube channel. And if you need the direct link to that, you can just ask me after the class today. So I will share that one with you. So please watch that video too, and other video on that, just to be patient, just to have a broad experience about this exam. That is it. And that is the end of this orientation. Thank you very much.